Good morning. Welcome to Grandma's Table. This one's a big one, eh? Um, Yesterday, if you know, you know, I had an epiphany. Oh my goodness. Um, I was going through my spiritual check-in and I was thinking I want to focus on beautiful things today. My beautiful people, as I pray for them, as I bring them to mind and to heart and ask God to be with them. My so that was a long drawn out thing because there's a lot of beautiful yous out there. But then I was like, what scripture could go with this? And I was like, no, I don't want that one, God. I don't want that one. I knew what it was. And I was like, no, I don't want it. It's from First Peter chapter 3. And the man-made headings, the human-made headings are wives and husbands. And I was like, no, I don't want that one. But I read it anyway, and it was, let your adornment be in the inner self with the lasting beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is very precious in God's sight. I was like, no. And I had a little bit of a wrestle because God's big enough to handle my frustrations. And that verse has been used over and over countless times to say you shouldn't yell, you shouldn't be upset, you should just take it. You should just be quiet and gentle, Marilyn, because I'm not gentle. I am loving, I am compassionate, but when it's a games night, or if we're having a conversation and I get excited about something, my volume goes up because I'm excited. And if we're playing a game, or if we're kind of, if I'm wrestling with the kids in the living room, I'm gonna wrestle right back. Like I have been known to walk down the street with my young children, holding their hand, and if there's a massive snow mound, I will kick their feet out from under them and throw them in the snow mound. And I'm not gentle, but I have a massive heart that God has given me for people. And I don't purposefully hurt others. Never. But sometimes my hurt comes out because I will hold it and I will hold it and I will try really hard to have conversations with this person or that person. And then when it's not being heard, when assumptions about me are being made, I have a condition called volatile depression. And what that means is when I'm depressed, I get angry. And so I have to work on that. That is not an excuse. I have to say my sorries when I need to say so. I've had to say sorry to my 3-year-old granddaughter. I have to apologize for my behavior. But this verse talks about the beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit. And I was like, God, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be beat up anymore by this verse. This is why people say I'm not beautiful. And this is not me going and asking for comments saying, oh, you're beautiful. No, that's not what this is. Because God, the epiphany is that the adornment, the makeup, the how you truly are, how you want to present yourself to the world, be in the inner self. Oh, well, me playing a loud game of whatever I'm playing, taco, hat, cake, pizza, whatever, me playing a loud game of that is not who I am on the inside. Oh, lasting beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit. And I was like, okay, God, if that doesn't mean being quiet all the time, being sitting down and not giving my opinion, what does it mean? Oh, when am I gentle and quiet? Inside. When I'm secure. When I feel cherished. When I feel safe. When I feel calm. When I feel peace. Because I'm where my feet are and my head is allowed to wander and I feel safe in the palm of God's hand. Rest. That is different than keep your mouth shut. You don't have anything worthy to say. That's different than you shouldn't get angry when someone hurts you. That's different than never ever Move out of this calm, peaceful place. That's you? Great. Be you. But if I put this together with other scriptures, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I have been designed with a purpose. Oh, also, which is very precious in whose sight? God's sight. If we go back to Samuel, King David being chosen by God, he looked at all the tall, handsome men, and finally this scrawny little kid, he probably wasn't that scrawny because he's outside all day long, every day, walking and working with these kids, but the sheep, these kids, that's funny, working with the sheep. But God said, Samuel, you look on the outside, you're human, but I look on the heart. And God is saying, Marilyn, if you are at peace with me, that's what I see. I don't see the opinionated person as long as she's being kind to others and not dehumanizing them because they too are made in the image of God. That is where your beauty lies, Marilyn. When I look at your heart and I see that you and I are doing well, that's where your beauty comes from. That's what's important this year. Forget about wives and husbands. Forget about what other people think. Forget about how they view you. You have lots of very difficult memories about what they've said to you about how you are and who you are. But I know you and I are at peace. And that makes you beautiful. That was my epiphany. I'm sorry that it took a little longer than normal. If you're still with me, fantastic. I'm so thankful for that. Feet on the ground, head in the clouds, and know that I love you. Bye.